Good morning, everybody. Happy birthday. Now, my birthday's not till the 20th, so if you don't know, my very first lecture on a Sunday morning was July the 20th, 1975, at the YMCA, and we had 9 people, and 4 of them were family. And I shared a vision of what we wanted to do and what we wanted to build and what we wanted to be. And the challenge that we all had was to honor principle, because principle says that wherever your mind goes, your world follows. And it starts where? See, anything you want starts, and anything you want to stop, stops. So our challenge is to do what? To stop what we don't want, start what we do want, know it's good enough to be true, and learn how to live with it. Learn how to be the possibility of it in action. Everyone say the law of prosperity, is working through me now, as me now. Now what are we talking about? We're talking about prosperity in action, but this means not only money, but it means what? To be prosperous in health, be prosperous in good ideas, be prosperous in the expression of talent. Aren't you glad these two did that? Be prosperous in anything you choose to be prosperous in. Why? Because our challenge is to know that our good is good enough to be true, and it's good enough to be now, and it's good enough to be everything we are in action when we let go and let it happen. When we let go and honor a principle that knows what to do and how to do it. I quoted Friday night this wonderful statement by Vince Lombardi. I had the opportunity. My cousin played quarterback for the Packers a number of years ago. His name was John Rhodes, and John, one day they were playing the Dallas Cowboys. I was living in Dallas at the time, and I called him and I said, can I come, say hello and whatever, and get some tickets for the game? He said, sure. They were staying at a Holiday Inn. Yes, you know how long ago this was. And so I go there, and I called the room, and he said, come on up. So I go up there, and I walked in, and all these people on the Green Bay Packers were sitting around playing poker, smoking cigars. And I walked in, and John said, this is my cousin Jay, and they all stood up, and I felt like Alice in Wonderland. It was like, they stood up and I shrunk. And I met all of them, and I met Vince Lombardi. Of course, I didn't know Vince Lombardi was Vince Lombardi at the time. And so in hindsight and remembering that I got to shake hands and meet Vince Lombardi at that time, listen to this quote by him, because he's a good coach and he knows what to do and how to do it in that area. He said, confidence is contagious. So is lack of confidence. Now, how many know that's true? Okay. How many know that's true? See, for 35 years I've been describing, you can be one of two kind of people, one who lights up a room when you enter, or one who lights up a room when you leave. And so your attitude, how many been around people where their attitude meets you before you meet them? Where their expression, it's like, if it can go wrong, it will. Okay. And they're afraid to do what? They're afraid to be optimistic when they're hanging around a bunch of pessimists, because the pessimists think they're going mad. And it's not they're going mad. What they're doing is they're seeing possibility instead of what the world sees. We were advised 2,000 years ago, be not conformed to the world, be transformed by the renewing of our mind. And when can we do that? We can do it any opportunity we have, which is every moment we have in life. Any moment you are in, you can choose to stop what you're doing and start doing something else, but you have to do it first where? In consciousness. In consciousness. And before you do that, and this is where we come into play, is first you have to understand what and who you are, and know that the definition of what and who you are is a definition that can change its mind, and stop blaming life, experience, anything on anything outside of you. Everybody say, if I think my problems are coming from out here, I'm going to look out here for the answer. Hey, people, they're not coming from out here. Okay. If you got them in your life, they started with you, and if you don't want them there anymore, stop them with you and start something new with you. This is how we harness the power of one. This is when we realize we don't have anything to overcome. All we have to do is a mind to change. Whose mind? My mind. Your mind. Change your mind, change your life. How many have heard that before? Okay. Change your thinking, change your life. Now, is that just a nice thing to say, or is it good enough to be true? Some people live as if it's good enough to be true, and some people live knowing about it, but it must be good for other people, and I'll just find a reason why I can't do that. Listen, if your happiness depends on your making up your mind to be happiness in action, and it doesn't show up, maybe you haven't made up your mind to be happiness in action yet. Maybe you just know you can, but you're not letting what you know be your way. You hear what I'm saying? You see, this truth is good enough to be true. We're told over and over again, Job 22:28, thou shalt also decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, and the light shall shine upon thy ways. Now, what are you decreeing? You're decreeing, when you say I am, whatever comes next, the law of your being will operate from and produce an experience that looks like whatever you're saying, whatever you're believing, and whatever you're affirming. You want to know what you believe? Look at your life. That's what you believe. Everything else is just theory. So our awakening happens when we let go and let ourselves, Dr. Ernest Holmes and Dr. Fidwick Holmes, my teacher, Dr. Craig Carter, taught me, and I have been standing here in this lectern for 35 years teaching this. Reverend Dart teaches it, Reverend Lacey teaches it, Reverend Mary Jo teaches it. All of our teachers teach this, and that is what? You do not want your people to come to you on a Sunday morning, a Wednesday night, or any of our classes and put them to sleep. What you want to do is wake them up. But how many know that an awakened state sometimes is not comfortable? And it's not comfortable because what you have to do is wake up to the fact that the only reason nonsense stays in your life is because you believe in the cause of nonsense. Our challenge is to be the cause of what? Unlimited possibility. How does unlimited possibility start its day? How does it move through its day? How does it treat other people? I quoted Nelson Mandela Friday night. Listen to the quote again. If you weren't here, listen to it carefully. If you were here, listen to it again. No one is born hating another person because of the color of their skin, or their background, or their religion. People must learn to hate. And if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love, for love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. And you know why? Because love made us out of itself. The truth of our being is love. You have to produce a lot of stress to turn that into hate. That's not two powers. That's just a negative way of using one power. And since this one power is everything we are, it's looking out of my eyes at you and your eyes at me,